Hi everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Magnificent Mecha MM-01A upgrade kit for MM-01. So you can see if you're at the package, you can see, well, kind of a weird like red scale image kind of photoshopped like crazy about MM-01. You've got just black up top, you have MM-01A on the side, you have the same thing on this side. On the bottom you have just black, and on the back you have a couple product shots and whatnot, what's included in the kit, although these are old images and some of them definitely do not line up with what's actually in the package, particularly that thing. And there's no instructions. That's one big knock against it right there. No instructions. So anyway, you get a kit, and well, I got half of it or so installed on MM-01 here. You can see, well, big difference here is the shoulders. Its most big thing is a lot of the kit will add some weapons. It adds new pans, and will also add some Cybertronian parts if you want him to make it look more like a Cybertronian self versus, you know. So you can see, yeah, you get this new shoulders. You can see, you know, the new thing there. You know, this new smokestacks, new shoulder pieces, new forearm, the new hands, which are fully posable, and the new wheel covers, which, yeah, you can see on half of it here. And there's a couple other things too, but we'll get into that over time. Most of this stuff is actually pretty easy to install, but a few of the things are just kind of annoying. Yeah, you get this big old tray of stuff. Just look at that real quick. Yeah, you get this big old tray of stuff, and yeah, you can see parts are already taken out for the sake of, you know, upgrading. Yeah, I already did half of it, so I just want to kind of show off, you know, a couple things you can do. So number one, the wheel covers, real easy. You know, these little things, just little black and red discs. They just go over top of the hubcaps. They just, you know, peg on. There's not much there. Just that's that simple. Easy enough. Just peg these on, and they just, there you go. Easy peasy. This also, kind of mentioned it in the actual review. This is just a magnet. You take that off, and you can put the other one on. Make sure it's you know, put it on the right way. There's divots and stuff on this stuff to make sure you put it on the right side, the correct side. That's easy enough. The difficult part is, unfortunately, the shoulders can be a little more difficult than everything else, particularly this part of the shoulder. Now what you got to do here is, well, the front part's not too bad. You just untab it, and it's on a thing here. Just pull it off, really. This one's not too bad, honestly. Well, it wasn't too bad on the other shoulder. This one, of course, fighting me a little more. Yeah. That one is not too bad. It's just a friction clip. No big deal. I'm not going to put the second part on yet, because this is, we're going to get a little more tricky. Now, this one right here, this is the one that's a pain about to get off. So you're going to have to actually untransform a bit. So just, you know, move this to the side and move this down, because you want the leverage. Because this right here, you have to pull this whole, I'm going to try to get in there. You have to pull this whole thing off, including right here. This whole leverage part. You can see on the other one, yeah, you can see you have to pull that whole thing off. And this is the part where it's a little scary. And quite frankly, I feel like a lot of people are going to probably break there to damage it. Because there is a thing on here, on this clip, or whatever. There's actually a kind of indentation in it. You might be able to see that. There's an indentation so you can slide it off. The problem is the indentation's right here on the bottom of this. So you have to get it like this and pull it up if you want the smoothest. But even that is like, oh boy. Because up here is pinned. I'm just afraid of, like, you know, the plastic just giving, I guess. Actually, that came off pretty much bad. Huh. That was a lot easier than the other one. Go figure, right? But anyway, so you get those off, and you put this stuff back right here. You put this stuff back where it was, and like that. Now, we'll go back on. There we go. Now, while you got the shoulder, you want the shoulder out right here. There's another piece for this thing right here. You can see there's a little thing on here. You can see a little thing right there, right? So what you need to do with that is to help, I guess, strengthen the bar. I guess people were a little worried about that breaking at some point. Which I guess I can get it. I've never had a problem myself, but I can understand why people might be a little hesitant about that little metal bar there, because it is kind of small and thin. So they give you little two little clip pieces, right? And they're both exactly the same. They just go up underneath apparently. And you just kind of just clip it underneath. It doesn't really get in the way as far as I can tell. With these things on, it can still transform. These parts anyway. These particular specific parts. And yeah, if I can get this on, it's a little stubborn sometimes because you need to do it like this, but like it doesn't want to. Sometimes it just wants to. Let's try the other way then. Maybe we'll go on better this way. Who knows? Oh, almost had it. The other one was a lot nicer. Of course, that's the thing. It seems like that's what it seems like. I swear. There we go. Got it. Okay, so that just clips on, and that's supposed to just help strengthen the shoulder. And I believe you can leave that on, even if you're, nothing else. Now the new Cybertronian parts, you got this part and you got this part, and it's kind of weird what you got to do. So this doesn't actually really. This kind of connects, but in a different way. It doesn't use a hinge like the old one did. It kind of mostly just tabs into this part, but also kind of pegs into this thing too. It's a little weird. This like right there here, this right here, kind of goes in this little divot right here, and then yeah, like that. It kind of goes in that divot, and then this needs to tab. There's a tab and slot and everything, and then this has to go on like that, and then just tab over. Like so. So you go, you got that, and there you got the Cybertronian bits on. And that's the Cybertronian stuff. And yeah, it looks pretty good. The only thing here is, yeah, this stuff, particularly shoulders and the forearms, you can't transform it with those. These can't, well, you can. I think if you remove this shoulder piece with the smokestack on, you can transform it with these pieces on, but it's going to leave the back looking kind of weirdly empty, and there will be no smokestacks. This you cannot leave on. You cannot use the forearms because they are a bit thicker than the original ones. They're a bit thicker than the original, so they can't really transform with it. So that's a bit of a thing. And of course, the other thing is the posable hands. That's a big one. Like this one you can see right here. Opposable hand, it's a new articulation stuff. So you got, let's see, how do I want to put this? So, yeah, I got all jointed at the base of the thumb, and then two hinges in the thumb. So you got that. And then these all have, let's see, I think 3 hinges per finger. Plus they have splay. So quite posable. Also fairly easy to swap, although there is one extra step, which, I wasn't expecting because, again, no instructions. Yeah, pop the old hand off the ball joint. If it comes off. Pop the old hand off the ball joint. And get your new hand out. Now, the thing about these hands is there are actually 2 different palms. Right here. There's a smoother palm. And then there's a palm with a... there's a smooth palm, and there's a palm with a tab in it. You can see the difference, I think. Yeah. One has a tab, one does not. Tab is for the new weapons. But if you want to use a gun still, you have to use the old palm. Now, this you can actually just leave on like it is, but there's actually, inside of it, gonna take the back of the, because they don't tell you, but they take the back of the hand off, there is a screw hole right there, and you're supposed to put these on the ball joint first, and then make sure also when you do that, make sure to fully extend the fingers and then grab it like this and push. Don't push on this part. You really do not want to push on the fingers themselves when you're attaching it. You could easily break it. Now they give you a screwdriver, thank goodness. Yeah, they give you a screwdriver and 2 extra screws, which, again, they don't tell you anything about this. I figured this out myself when I figured, oh, the back comes off. Oh, that's a screw hole. Oh, you're supposed to put it in like that. They don't tell you this. They don't tell you that, which is really frustrating when it's like, oh, yeah, no instructions, nothing. Not even a QR code or anything. Just, here's your kit. Figure it out. Yeah, just once you got it on the ball joint, just go ahead and well, screw in the screw, because, well, you want to make sure it's nice and tight on there. Because, yeah, it comes apart, so yeah, it's one of those things. Make sure to screw it in enough, because if that screw head's not all the way down, then the back of the hand will not seat properly. Hopefully that's enough. Yep, okay, that's enough. And there you go, there's your new hands, and yeah. So the other thing is, yeah, you can still hold the gun with these hands, kind of. It's not very good, unlike the old gun holding hand, which was very secure, too secure. He can still hold the gun, but it's going to be weird. He doesn't hold it super well, and see if I can get this. I find he doesn't hold the gun super well anymore. It's just I think that's a byproduct of, you know, the posable hands. It can kind of hold. If I can get this in there, it's a little more difficult to when I'm. Kind of hold it before, but yeah, like I said, it's not great at holding the gun anymore. If you want to hold the gun, honestly, just go back to the normal hands, because yeah, it doesn't hold very well. And I had to hold it before, but of course now I won't do it at all, because why not? So yeah, those are the new posable hands, and let me think. Should have done that ahead of time, but yeah. So swapping out the palms is, well, again, you have to, well, get in here, pop the cover off, and unscrew the palm. And the thing, I noticed that you honestly really don't need the screws. It's tight enough that honestly it will be fine without it. But, you know, I guess better safe than sorry. I guess. Yeah, just pulling the palms off is not too difficult. You just, you know, unscrew it, and then yeah, you unscrew that, and then just get the thumb out of the way, because it's in the way. Yeah, and then make sure it's, you know, the correct one. The fat part of the palm piece goes at the back, and the tab goes to the front. You'll see, because there's a little divot in there for the ball joint socket, or the ball joint, I guess. You'll know. Tab palm is useful for, well, the new weapons, which help it hold those very securely, thankfully. You don't need them, but again, just makes things just nice, so much nicer when you don't have to worry about that. I feel like this is all the way in. Yeah, again, make sure the screw's all the way in, or else it's just going to be not going to stay together nicely. I'm a little worried about the longevity of that, so yay. The other thing also, if you have to use the tab palms, you can't use the gun, because, well, they'll get in the way of the gun. The gun has no slot. If the gun had a slot, this would be fine, but as it stands, well, you have also a big old axe. Very nice looking. You can see that's a nice finish on it. Plus, you know, this is really cool. It's got some detailing, plus this whole fade in it. It's a very long axe, and you can see there is a slot right there, if it will focus. There we go. There's a slot right there on both sides of the axe, and you could just put that right there. Holds. And there you go. Holds the axe pretty well. He's also got, I'm not going to show off one, but he's got two, again, really nice swords. And they both also have the slots on the other side. So, you know, you can just slot those in. Slot those in, I say. There you go. Slot those in, and there you go. Now he's got some swords. Which, again, nice looking swords. Has the same finish as the axe does, and, well, it looks nice. I might keep it there just for that. Now, another accessory he has is, actually, how'd that happen? Anyway, another accessory he has is this. You can open this up, of course, like before. And that was one thing was, oh, hey, no, he has got no matrix or matrix chamber. Ah, now, well, get it out of the tray. You got a matrix now, which, again, it's, you know, nicely detailed. You got the blue jewel, gold and silver, all that stuff. And on the back, just silver. You can see like two pegs and a tab thing. Just kind of goes in right here. Just kind of just goes in like this and just there. It just rests like that. You can't close up the chest with that. This is for just kind of displaying with it open. You can't store it in there. It's just for display purposes. And yeah, you can't close up the chest with that in there. So that's kind of weird. It's one of those things. It's like, yeah, cool, I guess, but like, you know, it's one of those, yeah, cool, but also, I don't know. Wish there was a better way, but you know, the chest is tightly packed with a bunch of panels and stuff in the transformation. So I forgot these spring-loaded things can be a pain in the butt. Why aren't you tapping in? There we go. Of course, the windshield wiper's also still a pain in the butt. And a couple other things. New head. Now, the new head, the whole thing is, it's a slight improvement over the old head. Very slight. I'm not sure what's picking on camera, but it's got just kind of more sharper detail on the face mask, and that's pretty much it. But thankfully, it's just an easy swap of just pop and swap. And the good news is, yeah, just like before, if you press the crest, although you have to press it kind of hard sometimes, it's supposed to work. There we go. Yeah, once again, two LR44s, and his eyes will light up. And yep, that's the head. This is being weird. Yeah, and one last thing, which is, yeah. Box, it looked really bad because it looked like it came out of the cartoon or something, but globe accessory, which has yeah, it's translucent. It's just a globe, and it plugs in right here on the arm. Just plug it in right here so it can show Bumblebee Earth. And this also takes two LR44s, and if you push on the base, it's supposed to be a push on the base, and yeah, you can see it lights up. You push on it again, it will turn off. Yeah, you plug it in right there, and there, you plug it in right there, and it, you know, holds pretty well. So you can do this whole thing of like, hey, I'm showing you Earth. And yeah, so there's your lot. Oh yeah, and also doing the battery thing is pretty simple. It's the same thing, exact same thing as the original head. Just pull off the top. Pull off the top, and you see there's the batteries. Again, two LR44s. You got to really jam them in there because it's a real tight fit, and then make sure to seat it right correctly. You know, makes the button on top. This one, people reported that the button, the crest button doesn't seem to work as well, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. Something about it, you have to push it extra hard to get it to work, but it will work. Or you could just lift the top of the head off and just push it that way. But there's that. And with the globe, it's actually pretty easy. It's just slide that out, and right here again, the same exact mechanism. Just two LR44s. Make sure to line this up properly. You see, there's this little, I'm sure you can see that, but there's little plastic bits at the end there. Make sure those line up with the button here. They only go in one way, fit one way. So make sure it's all correctly lined up, and then there you go. Correctly line that up, and then yeah, you can just do the thing. Now, here's the thing about this upgrade kit. Again, like I said, you can't transform stuff with the Cybertronian bits on it. The Cybertronian bits, can't transform it. The opposable hands is one thing. Well, can you transform the opposable hands? I would recommend not, because you're supposed to transform with the original fists, and they close up tighter into a fist than the hands do. And I don't think, from what I remember, and I'm not going to try this because they recommend not doing that, the hands, you can't really position in any real way that they're going to fit really easily. And it'd be the big worry be you're going to tear apart the fingers trying to force a transformation anyway. So I would highly recommend don't try to transform with the hands. The only parts you really can leave on are the front shoulder pieces and the wheel hubcap things. Those really on that. That's pretty much it. Everything else, like, nope, you got to tear it off and put the original pieces back on. So yeah, if you like to transform it, this upgrade kit's going to get really in the way. So yeah, yeah. So that's the thing. Is this worth it? Here's the thing. That was the big thing. I've been kind of not talking about it. This kit is $70. Yeah, it's a $70 kit. You get a good amount of accessories. It's a pretty cool axe. I really like the axe and the swords. Those are really nice looking. The head's a small improvement, but really not such an improvement that most people are going to, most people aren't going to be super into it. Opposable hands are nice, but you can't transform. It's really ill-advised to transform it with them. The Cybertronian pieces look nice, but I kind of prefer it with the more Earth mode pieces, personally. So they're kind of nice, but and also, again, you can't transform it with those attached anyway, so it's like... And the globe piece is kind of neat for display. Again, neat for display, but so it's one of those things where it's like a lot of these pieces are very much kind of hinder the figure in weird ways. You can't transform them, basically. If you use most of these pieces, you can't transform them. And that's going to be a problem. And on top of that, for a lot of people, the only thing they really want are the hands. And so a lot of people are just kind of going $70 for opposable hands as a ripoff. And that's not true. It's not just the hands. It's all this stuff. A lot of people see it as all this extra stuff that they don't want, and they have to pay $70 for just the opposable hands that they do want. So yeah, $70 is a lot of money for an upgrade kit. And quite frankly, even with all the other stuff, I think in the end, it's probably still not worth it. I bought it for the review, hoping maybe the extra stuff would sell me on it. But yeah, the extras that I'd actually be willing to use, namely the swords in the hands, or the weapons in the hands, really aren't enough to justify that $70 price tag. And even then, I think with all the accessories, I think it's still a little overpriced. If it was down to $50, I think it'd be much more reasonable, I guess. But then again, it still is like you're paying for a lot of money for something that, quite frankly, has a lot of pieces you might not even use at all. And I would actually say, quite to be blunt, if you're not going to use it for the Cybertronian stuff, just skip this. It's not, the opposable hands aren't worth it. It's like, yeah, if you're going to be wanting to use this, it's only really if you really want a Cybertronian Optimus Prime, which there's not really, they don't think there's really a whole lot of that. Maybe the Toy World version came with swappable parts, but only really if you really want this Cybertronian Optimus. But otherwise, yeah, it's just not worth the money. Even then, I still think it's a little overpriced for what they get does fill out most of the price point. It's just, yeah, it should have been $50. And even that, it's like, it's only worth that if you're going to really be using the Cybertronian parts. Otherwise, honestly, yeah, just skip it. It's not worth $70 for just if you want just the disposable hands. You're just going to have to, I guess, suck it up and deal with, the static hands. So, yeah, don't buy it $70. And only buy it if it's discounted and you want the Cybertronian stuff. So, yeah, it kind of sucks to say that, but that's just how it is. And it's also annoying that they also announced the Nemesis Prime version, which improves shoulders. I'm not sure what they mean by improved shoulders, but hey, it's improved shoulders, and apparently that will also come with the upgrade kit, which I know this time don't buy that. So, unless it's really cheap and only includes that handful of things. But yeah, I guess that's it for this one. I kind of babbled a bit, trying to get my point across, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this review and found it informative and entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my coffee. Check out my Patreon. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my co-host, cohost.org/Nemesis-Prime. And I shall see you next time with another video review.